Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, so my supplies you can purchase from Stampin' Up through me at the address at the top of the screen, and it is linked below also. My project today is a little Easter box that measures 3.5 by 5 1/4 by 1 inch. And inside I have some Haribo Happy Chicks, they're called. So that was the version, of the Easter version, I guess. I think they have a bunnies one too. But I love the stamp set, Easter Friends. It's a cling stamp set. And it's a bit daunting to look at, but it's really quite easy to color. At least the chick, I was the only one I've done so far. I only used 2 Stampin' blends, light Saffron and light pumpkin pie. And the trick I learned is to stamp off. When you stamp it on scrap and then stamp it on your basic white, because then it makes the lines, they're still defined, but it makes it not as bold, so he's still a soft little chick. I tried it in using smoky slate and in crumb cake, but I just didn't like it as much as stamping it off in Tuxedo Black. Alrighty, so I used the Easter Friends. This is in the Spring Mini Catalog. I also used in the Spring Mini Catalog, the Gingham Embossing Folder, just for the label at the top. I used the seasonal label dies for the actual top of the box, which I didn't put DSP on the back, but we will be putting it on this one. I used the layering circle dies for this here, which you could stamp the chick right on there if you don't want to pop him up. He will fit on this. And the rectangle stitch dies for the sentiment. Alrighty, I also used some of the 3/4 inch frayed ribbon. I did want to use the glittered organdy white one, but I put in an order on Friday and it's still out of stock, so I didn't want to use that for it. But a good news is I put an order on Friday night, like 10 o'clock at night, and on Monday morning it said it had shipped. So that's quite a bit faster than it has been over the last 2 years because of, well, you know why. So that's a happy spot. Let me show you what we need here. We need a piece of Highland Heather that is 9.5 by 6 1/4. We need some basic white for stamping. We need a basic white circle from the layering circle dies, and this is about 2.5 inches, and then 2 3/8 for the scallop circle in Highland Heather. We need a label, a rectangle. It's about 2 7/8 long from the rectangle stitch dies for the sentiment. We need the largest of the seasonal label dies out of Highland Heather. This is going to be the top of our box. And then from the Flowering Fields DSP, we need 2 pieces that are 3 1/4 by 5 and 2 pieces that are 3/4 by 5. Alrighty. And that's it for that. All right, so let's get our Simply Scored. And we're going to start on the 9.5 inch side. And I'm going to get my scoring tool. And we're going to score at 1, 4.5, 5.5, and 9. Then we're going to turn it to the 6 1/4 side, and we're going to score at 1. All right, that's the first thing we score. Now the second thing is the label. Okay, we're going to put it the long ways on the 3 inch side, and we're going to score at 1 and at 2. Okay. Alrighty. So now I'm just going to fold and burnish. And we're into the last 2 weeks of celebration. So if you want to get the free gifts out of the celebration catalog for $50 or more, you can do that. And if you'd like to join my team, you don't have to continue. You can just do it as a one-shot deal or be a hobby demonstrator. It's $99 for $125 worth of products. And during celebration, you get 2 extra stamp sets, which is an awesome deal, plus free shipping. All right. So if you have any questions, my email is below. Okay, so the skinniest rectangle is on the right-hand side, and there is a 1-inch strip at the bottom. And all we're going to do is get rid of this rectangle and wedge our squares. Okay, so we'll start over here by the skinny rectangle on the right. We're going to get rid of this one here on the bottom and just wedge up a little bit above it. Okay, follow it up and just wedge a little bit off the top also of the skinny rectangle. I'm going to go to the middle to the square. We're going to cut these 2 rectangle edges straight and then wedge each side of the square. Okay, go to the other side of this rectangle, cut it straight to the first score line, and then wedge each side of the square. And that's it for that. So this is what your cardstock should look like when you finish scoring it and cutting it. It's pretty quick. Okay, now we're going to get our tear and tape, and we're going to put it close to the score line on what's left of the skinny rectangle. And I'm going to use my tape here pick tool to get the backing off. Okay, now we're going to flip over the side with the tape, and then flip over the other edge to meet it. If it doesn't meet exactly, you can pick it up and make sure that it's straight on the edges. Okay, and if there's a little that hangs over, it might have been a little bit cutting a little off. Just cut it. If it's a little bit short, it's all right. It's not going to be really that noticeable. Okay, now this is our back where the seam is. We'll put the sides in and the back of the front flap is where we want our next piece. Now, depending on what you put in here, you only need 1, but with the heavy gummy bears, I'm going to put 2. Also, you can put little notepads in here or any other kind of candy. It's a 1-inch width, so anything that's within that you can fit. It's pretty tall. It's 5 1/4. Okay, and that's that part of the box. Now, before we put on our label, we already scored it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Gingham Embossing Folder, and I'm just going to put it in, and I'm going to run it through my machine, and I'll be right back. Okay, and then it's a pretty gingham. See that? I like this. And then I'm just going to fold it again because it got a little bit flattened out from using the folder. Alright, now what we want to do is we want to put it so that this back edge here, this lower of the top, you see this is the top. Right here we want to make sure that the back is butted right up next to where that piece is, because these will hang over the sides a little bit. Alright, and we're only going to put glue on the back. We don't want glue on the top or the front flap. Alright, I'm just going to put it right on there. And then I'm just going to adjust it because I have it a little bit crooked. Make sure that it will close, because if you put it too low, this won't go over the side. And then just bring it up and make sure you have your sides covered. Okay, and that's that. All right, we'll let that dry a minute. Okay, now we're going to put our DSP on. Now, because this is embossed, I could have put this on underneath. That would look really pretty. if we put this underneath and had the embossing over it. So I'm just not going to put it on the back again, but it would be really good if you would put this, if I hadn't attached this till the DSP was on. So try to make sure you do that. Or you could put it over if you don't mind having the embossing underneath it. I just think it would have looked pretty that way. Alright. And this piece, we have 2 pieces that are 3 1/4 by 5 inches. We can just put them right on there. I really do wish I had, because that would look pretty on top, but it's okay. We'll have it in the front. Okay, and then the 2 side pieces are 3/4 by 5. All right, and then we're just going to let that sit a minute. Okay. Now we want our chick, and our Happy Easter. Now the Happy Easter, what I did do before was I stamped it and then cut it out because this is cling. But let's see if I can get it on there right nice. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, but I would, if you're not good at that like me, I would suggest stamping it and then cutting it out with this rectangle from the rectangle stitch dies. And if you don't have some of these, if you only have the stamp set, you can put in all different things that you've got. I know it's challenging times right now. Alrighty, now let's do our duck. Now we need a piece of scrap. And I'm just going to use the Tuxedo Black Ink on it. And then I'm going to stamp it on scrap first. And then I'm going to stamp it on the basic white. Perfect. All right. See, this one is just a little too harsh when you color it. And that makes it a little bit softer. All right. And remember, if you don't want to have to cut it out and pop it up, if you want to just not deal with fussy cutting, you can do it right on the circle. All right, and then we only need our 2 because the shading on here is pretty much done for us. You could go over those shaded areas with dark Saffron if you want, but I really don't feel like it needs it. So let's do this first. The light pumpkin pie. I'm gonna do the beak. And the feet. I tried dark pumpkin pie, but it's too dark with the black. Okay. And then all the rest I'm just going to color in with light Saffron. Okay. And then I'm just going to fussy cut it. Okay, and there's our guy. Alrighty, now we're going to take 2 3/8 inch Velcro dots, and I'm going to put the fuzzy ones on here, and these will be less noticeable on the actual DSP. So I'm going to put 1 on each of the lowest corner of the flap. Okay, and then the other ones I'm going to put on with the adhesive facing out. Alrighty. And just make sure when you close your box that it's sitting even there. And then just press it. Gently pull it up and then reinforce them. Alright. Alrighty. Now we need our 2.5 inch circle and 2 3/8 inch scallop circle, and we're going to just glue those together. And I'm just gonna put that right on top. And then I'm going to get some dimensionals and put it on our duck. He really just fits in there. It's great. Okay. And then we're going to glue our Happy Easter. And I'm just going to put this at the bottom so that it's even on both sides and the bottom, about the same amount of room. Oh, goodness. Okay. And then I'm going to put some more dimensionals on the back of this. I'm just going to put this right on top. Good. Okay. And then, why am I taking that off? Then I'm going to get my 3/4 inch frayed ribbon, and I'm going to put it inside and close it. Right, and then I'm just going to tie a bow right on the top. You could also just make a bow and put it on top if you don't want to tie it around the whole lid. A little more. So cute. I think I left these a little longer, but either way it's cute. And I'm just going to cut this with my fabric scissors. And then for the final touch, we're going to add some Pastel Pearls around the chick. And I'm going to add some purple ones. Put one up here. One over here. Oops. Move that a little. There we go. And one down by his foot. There you go. And that's it. Not too hard. And I love the embossing on there. I love the little chick. This is such a cute little stamp set. And I would love it if you would subscribe and hit the like button. And if you would like to purchase anything, as I said before, the links on the top of the screen and below, and also the link to my blog is below that will have all the measurements for you. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I'm really humbled by the support you give. I'm so lucky to have followers. I'm almost at 3,000, and I'll be having a little giveaway for that. All right, have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.